Hello boys and girls, and welcome to another week. Our Monday assembly this week takes place in Mrs. Marshall Walker's classroom, a new location for our assemblies. We have a very special assembly for you today because we have two musical performances, and of course don't forget we always love having your musical entries in for our assembly. I love featuring them, so if you'd like to send us a recording of one of your performances, please send it through and I'll include it in our assemblies. Also, we have an interview with Matron. She'll be telling us about PPE, which is a term you may have heard. She'll explain what that means and what that looks like. We'll also be looking at Turner's trials, last week's trial, our challenge, and the results of that, and then we'll be having a look at another challenge for this week. And well done to all of the boys and girls who have sent entries through for our challenges. It's fantastic to get entries in from you. They always make us smile as we remember you at home working, taking part in our Turner's trials, our challenges, and feeling that you're still part of our larger Hawford community. So first, a piece of music. Michelle is going to play for us. It's by a composer called Purcell, and I'm sure you'll enjoy this. So it's over to Michelle for our first musical performance of this assembly.
I'm going to play Minuet by Henry Purcell. Thank you.
Well done to Michelle. A fabulous way to start our week. Next, we have an update on the house points position. Mrs. Marshall Walker will tell us where the house points stand at the end of another week of fantastic work from you at home or here at school.
Here are the house points from the week before half term. Since you've come back from half term, you have been doing some amazing work and the house points have been rolling in. Well done, everybody. Okay, let's have a look at the scores on the doors. Breeden, you have got 20 points. Clent, you're up to 17. Kimver on 26. And Malvern, you're on 24. Well done, everybody. Keep those house points rolling in.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Marshall Walker. And don't forget, all of your work creates house points, which add to that house position. So keep working really hard, whether you're at school or at home, over this next week and indeed over the rest of the term. So we had a challenge last week. We had a word search challenge, and lots of you have come up with some fantastic words. So here, and I'll give you the results after this, is the video of this week's Word Searchers Turner's Trial. So well done to all of you who entered that last week. A fantastic competition. Now, the results. I promised you the results. In reception, well done to Austin. In year 1, well done to Freddie. In year 2, well done Dylan. Year 3, Michelle. Year 4, joint winners, Seren and James. In year 5, Bluebell, and in year 6, Tom. Now, there will be certificates to all of those sent in the post, as indeed is the case always for the winners of our Turner's Trials, our weekly challenges. What about this week? Well, this week, Mrs. Redman has a very special challenge for you. So a great competition for you for this week. Hopefully lots of entries in that. Get them through in the usual way to your teachers. And then, of course, you might well be featured in next week's very special challenge video. Now, I promised you an interview. We've got an interview with Matron, Mrs. Shuckler. She's going to be telling us a little bit about something called PPE. She'll explain that to you. If you do need to visit Matron, she may well need to put on some of the PPE that she's got in the sick room. So here is an interview with Matron. She'll tell you about that now. Well, boys and girls, I'm in Matron's room and I have a very special visitor as part of our assembly today. Matron's going to be talking to us, and she's going to be talking to us about one or two unusual pieces of equipment that Matron might well be using if you come to see her, because sometimes boys and girls feel unwell and they come to see Matron, and Matron looks after them. But at the moment, it's a little bit different because there's some pieces of equipment that you'll come across that are not normally worn by Matron. So, Matron, we're talking about PPE, aren't we?
Yes, so PPE stands for Personal Protective Equipment, and it's about some of the things that I've got here that will keep us safe as staff members and the children safe when they come back to school. So it's just about making sure that we're keeping a nice clean environment at school. Right.
So, so PPE, personal protective equipment. We're going to look at some items now that Matron might well wear if you come to see her. So the first thing we're going to look at, Matron, is...
I'm sure you all know what these are. A pair of gloves.
A pair of gloves. So you might wear a pair of gloves if you go out and it's cold, but you might have also seen people in the street wearing gloves at the moment. More people than normal wearing gloves, especially when it's quite warm. So Matron, why might we wear gloves?
So I'm sure that we all know by now that we've been told on the television, and our mums and dads might have told us, that hand washing is really, really important at the moment. It's the one thing that's keeping us safe and clean during this difficult time. If we touch surfaces, there might be, you know, parts of the virus kind of hanging around and lurking in places that we can't see. So it's just a really good way to keep ourselves safe. The first part of the PPE equipment is a pair of gloves.
Thank you. And just to follow up on what Matron said there, so at the moment we're making sure that before we come into school, at the end of lessons, when we go out to break, when we come back from break, when we've had our lunch, in fact lots of times during the day that we are cleaning our hands, and we've got a cleaner in school making sure that all of the rooms are clean as well. But wearing gloves is another really sensible way of making sure that we keep everything nice and clean. And those gloves, would you use them again?
No, these are all single use, so as soon as we've used them, we roll them up into a little ball and they go straight into the bin. So we'll be putting a fresh pair of these gloves on every time someone comes to see us. And
there's something else I think that you might wear that you would only wear them once.
Yes, we've got a few things here. So the next thing would be an apron. Okay, so this just goes over our head. I can put that on now. And sure you've seen lots of people wearing these before, probably in the kitchen environment too. And these are for keeping. Another reason to put these on is for keeping us clean again. So if we've got any splashes or anything mucky on our tops, then it covers us, protects us, and also protects the child that we're looking after, you children that we're looking after.
Right.
Yeah.
So the apron and the gloves would go in the bin just afterwards. A bit like boys and girls, if you sneeze and you catch the sneeze in perhaps a tissue or whatever it might be, that would go into the bin as well, because it's really important that we get rid of anything such as that straight away. So, something else you might wear.
Yeah. You've probably seen one of these as well, on quite a lot on the television, lots of doctors and nurses on television wearing them. This is a mask. This is also a single-use mask, so this will be used once and then go straight in the bin again. So I'll just put it on so that you know what I look like when I'm wearing it. It goes over your nose, tuck it behind your ear, and then it comes all the way under the chin here.
Right, and lots of people in the street are wearing those at the moment, aren't they, as well?
Yes.
So that's because it's another thing which can help stop infection from spreading. So that's why Matron would wear it. It's just really a help at that time. Now we have another piece of equipment, one that we wouldn't throw away.
Yes. So this is the last thing that you might see us wearing. This is called a visor. And Mr. Turner, what's the story behind these?
Yes, so these are being made at Hawford at the moment. This is actually one of the Hawford visors that's being made for the NHS, hospitals, doctors, surgeries and the like. But we've got some here. So this is a special Hawford visor. And Matron, how would we wear that?
So this is really to protect our eye area, just in case there's any coughing or splashing. So we'll literally just put this over my head at the back, and then it just rests on my forehead there.
Yeah. So that's, well, Matron might look like that if you come and see Matron. So it's really just for protection, to help you and to help Matron as well, just while your mums and dads are coming to collect you. So thank you very much for that, Matron. Have I forgotten anything? I don't think so.
I think that's
that's it,
yes.
isn't it, really? So
Thank you.
thank you for that. So, boys and girls, that's our PPE that you might see if Matron looks after you while you're at school. So thank you to Matron for that. And I think at this stage we'll have our prayer. We also have a prayer as part of our assemblies, so we'll put our hands together for our prayer. Lord God, we thank you for those people who have helped us through this time of national emergency. Our doctors, our nurses, the people who work as paramedics, people who work in hospitals, people who have helped us through, and of course our key workers as well. We pray, Lord, that you will look after them. We thank them for that work and look after each and every one of us each and every day. Amen. Now, we have a second piece of music. Caroline is going to be performing for us, so it's over to Caroline now. Well, many thanks to Caroline for that performance, and that pretty much wraps up our assembly for this Monday. Hope you enjoyed all of the parts of our assembly. We're going to go out to a tune that I really like, Bing Crosby and the Andrews Sisters. Accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, which I think is a really good lesson for life. Look on the positives. There are plenty of positives. I hope you enjoy this week. I hope you enjoy this song, of course, as you go out and enjoy all of the lessons that your teachers have prepared for you. I look forward to being part of your day again on Friday. So here is Bing Crosby and the Andrews Sisters.
got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In Between. You got to spread joy up to the maximum, bring gloom down to the minimum, have faith or pandemonium, liable to walk upon the scene.
To illustrate his last remark, Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark. What did they do just when everything looked so dark?
Man, they said we better accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, do not mess with Mr. In Between. Do you hear me?
Oh, listen to me, chillin' Anna. You will hear about the eliminating of the negative and an accent on a positive.
Gather round me, children, if you're willing, and sit tight while I start reviewing the attitude of doing right.
You gotta accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In Between.
You got to spread joy
Up to the maximum,
bring gloom
down
to the minimum.
then
Otherwise, pandemonium, liable to walk upon the scene.
to illustrate,
Well, illustrate.
my last remark,
You got the floor.
Jonah
in the whale, Noah
in the ark. What did they say?
What did they say?
Say when everything looks so dark. Man, they said we better accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In Between. No,